with your mission and turn today's success into tomorrow's divine promise. Wealth today, dynasty tomorrow.
And we are live. Welcome to this edition of Wealthy Wednesday. Today is going to be epic. You can see I've got a different background. Listen, I am so blessed. I'm on the road this week. And, my clients, actually many of my clients, become like family. They become like friends. And one of those couples are someone that I've been helping for many years. And whenever I'm traveling to Southern California, I'll be in Vegas this weekend for a seminar. We try to always get together, and they're so gracious. They invite me into their home. They cook me wonderful meals, and we just enjoy some wonderful quality time. So how many of you have clients that become like family and friends? And I'm so honored. It's an honor to be able to serve my community. I bring that with all humility. It's not because I'm so incredible. It's just about building relationships. I believe it's about building communities and building relationships, and I truly do live it. So today's guest is no exception. I actually met them through our LinkedIn audio rooms, and I see Miss Jackie is here. Mr. Eddie Godfather is here. Vivian, you're here. Thank you for joining us. I think all of you remember those LinkedIn audio rooms. I actually met them in LinkedIn audio rooms, and they were talking about systems and automations and AI and the metaverse, and a lot of that was really like above my scope. Right? I hadn't even explored any of that. And so I just kept watching them and listening to them, and they just became so magnetic to me. I was just so drawn to them. I mean, I call them Mr. Mic Drop and Miss Christmas. Okay, Mr. Mic Drop, Mr. David Jones at Hello LLC. He's always dropping golden nuggets everywhere. I love that. And I actually met him first. And I thought, he's dynamic, he's wonderful. And then I heard him talk about his beautiful better half. Yes, he did. And I just get so attracted. I'm a romantic. Okay, if you guys don't know, I am a romantic to the core. And whenever I hear a gentleman speak about their significant other with decadence and adoration, it gives me goosebumps. Like I'm getting goosebumps right now. And so when I heard him talk about the beautiful Miss Tara, I said, oh, I've got to meet her. I've just got to meet her. So I introduced myself. We had a coffee chat, which I am the queen of the no pitch coffee chat. And I just fell in love with her. They are fire and fire. They are truly a dynamic power couple. I always say they're my favorite social media couple. They are. I adore them both. And they have truly helped me so much in my business. I think we've been working together now for about 2 years. A lot of people ask me, Leah, what is this automation about? What is systems about? Like, how do you do this? I don't know how this works. I'm telling you, if you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, high achieving entrepreneur, business owner, you're somebody who wants to get in the social media game, today is for you. So come on in, grab your fuzzy slippers, grab something nice to drink. Look at this cute. I mean, they treat me so well. Look at this beautiful little glass right here. Everything's so cute around here. I got to tell you, they treat me like a princess. I just love coming here. So if that's you, share this with somebody. Invite somebody in who needs to hear this. If you're ready to upgrade your social media game, or if you're just ready to stop working harder. Listen, it is not about working harder. It is about implementing systems. And that is what today is. If you have questions, I want to hear from you. I want to hear it in the chat. So please give it up. I call her Miss Christmas because every time I meet with her, she brings me presents. I'm just so blessed. I adore her. Please give it up for the most amazing, incredible, beautiful, decadent Miss Tara Bush. Welcome to Wealthy Wednesday, my love.
Thank you, Miss Leah. What a wonderful intro. I greatly appreciate you. And, I remember you saying, like, I think it was maybe 6 months ago, might have been a year now, that you were in Southern California, just like you are now, at the same place. So it's great.
Absolutely. That's right. I'm here every couple of times a year. It's just so wonderful. Yeah. They're actually making this incredible breakfast. I'm going to post some pictures because I got to tell you, it is better than restaurant food. Okay. We're having this huevos that I'm going to call him Papa Wade now. I'm adopting them as my parents. Papa Wade makes from scratch. It is incredible. I'm just like, because I'm a foodie. So you know me, I don't turn down any kind of good food. Home cooked meal, girl. So if anybody wants to cook for me, listen, come on down. Me and Miss Kim Martin, listen. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, before we get into all that, for any of you, for any of those who don't know about you, tell us a little bit about you, Miss Tara.
Yeah, well, I can't believe it, but I was just looking at it. I have over 25 years experience in corporate America, doing everything. And because everybody's like, well, what's your background in? And I never have a great answer because it's a little bit of everything. But really in a big gist of things, operations, systems, making sure things run correctly. And then I spent many years in the design community. I was not a designer. I do great. Like, I know what you're going to say, because I design and I do all of your amazing design work. But I was not within the design community. But my nearly 20 years within that community, dealing with architecture firms, dealing with, designers, dealing with, all of that entire interior world. What it taught me was things need to look good and run good. It just can't look good. And so at the end of the day, I am a jack of all trades. I have a lot of knowledge in things, but I really just excel at I hear people like Miss Leah will say this, when we met Miss Leah, she didn't have the systems and the foundation that she has now. Just put it that way. I do not hate on anything, because at least she was doing something. A lot of people won't even do something. So at least she had something. But at the end of the day, when we see that and someone comes to us and says, hey, do you have suggestions of how I could do this better? I'm always like, you bet your bottom I do. And I mean it with the utmost respect. But that is because of the background of the 25 plus years out of corporate America, and almost 10 years of owning our own business, because that overlapped. So yeah, it's crazy.
Absolutely. I love it. Love it. Love it. I want to welcome a few people who've joined us a little bit more formally. We have the Godfather here, Mr. Eni Angsong. He actually will make you famous. If you're looking to get famous on social media, especially on LinkedIn, connect with him, please. And by the way, this is your opportunity to shout yourself out. This is a networking event. So I want you to engage with each other in the comments. If you have an upcoming event, please feel free to share it. If you have an ebook or something, we want to hear about it. You can't do that on all of my events, but this is an event that is intended to be specifically for my entrepreneurs and business owners. Also, Dr. Vivian, thank you for joining us. It's so great to see you. Thank you. Thank you. And of course, the great Miss Jackie Holbrook. I just adore this woman. She runs I think it's Wishful Wednesdays. Hopefully it's still going to be on Wednesdays. Her voice is so incredible. I think she should be a reader. I just listen to her voice all day long. I love the way she edifies. Like, I strive to be a Jackie Holbrook. Okay, let's just be real. We got to give the flowers where flowers are due. And listen, I have no issue giving out flowers. I love to give out flowers in bushes and bundles. And we got a few more people who are here. Americo de Costa, thank you for joining us.
I love that, Miss Leah, with bushes and bundles.
There you go. Americo, thank you for joining us. If you want to be seen, heard, and remembered, he's your guy. He and I are kind of like co-highs. We kind of came up at the same time together. I love watching him thrive. He brings so much value. He does a lot of collaboration. So if you're looking also to collaborate, please reach out to him. I hope I'm not overstepping my bounds, Americo. And then, of course, the great Miss Rosie. Oh, my goodness. My blessings. Thank you. Blessings from Phoenix. Miss Rosie has lots of things coming up. 2026 is going to be her year. She's an incredible person, an amazing poet, and an unbelievable photographer. Connect with her, join her. Listen, we got to have more no-pitch coffee chats. I want no-pitch coffee chats to go viral in 2026. And I do actually live it. I don't just say it. I look back on my Calendly, and I think I had like 264 coffee chats in 2026. Let me say that again. I'm going to post it. was like over 200 coffee chats in 2026. So I'm not just talking about coffee chats. I have these no pitch coffee chats. I've met so many incredible people with no pitch coffee chats. So so that you guys can all kind of get your mind around how this is the impact it's really had on me, right? We don't need more hustle. We need more systems. And we need more AI systems. We need things that happen in the background. And whenever I say that, people ask me, Leah, what do you mean? How are you automating your business? How are you doing this? And I can't explain everything because, listen, Miss Christmas is going to break it down for you. But this is what I can tell you what it's done for me. It's really transformational. In the past, if I took off any amount of time, I mean an evening, or if I left earlier than normal, or if I took a half a day, or if I took off, God forbid, a whole weekend, I was constantly, even though I was doing the thing, I was still constantly not 100% present because I was always thinking about, did I post this? And is this connected? And all those kinds of things. And really, it's been transformational. This past weekend, I was able to enjoy some time off with my daughter and my beautiful, precious grandson and her girlfriend and her daughter. And we went and had a great time. We went to the beach. We went to the aquarium. We went out to dinner. We did all these great things. And guess what? I didn't worry or think about my business one time. And that's the beauty and power of having systems and automations that are working and taking off that heavy, that background noise constantly. I don't know if any of you can relate to that, but I would almost be in a panic, checking, making sure that things were there. So if any of that resonates with you, give me a 1 in the chat. Listen, if you would like to take off that background noise and start to leverage systems, because it's all there. Now, I don't know how a lot of it works. That's why I have this beautiful, amazing team right there help me. So one of the questions I want to ask you, I've got some very specific questions because this is a very specific topic, is that what are the different types of AI and how should businesses think about them? What are the different types of AI, and really how do high achieving entrepreneurs and businesses, how should they be thinking about them?
Well, there's a complex answer and there's a simple answer. And I like to keep things simple because once you get complex, the mind is out the door. I listen to complex things and I get lost, right? And so I know that nobody wants to hear that jargon. Essentially, at the end of the day, AI is your smart module, your smart right-hand man, right? It's where you can put it to task, whether it's an automation or an agent, however you have that out. Most of the AI we are seeing now is automation. It's not so much agent, it's more automative work. But with that stated, you can go into the depths of, well, there's learning language models. There's, intuitive. There's 6 other different types of AI. Everybody goes over the top of the head. I don't understand what that means. Essentially, as a business, we need to stop and say, what is something, a task that I don't like to do, and can I make that automated? Can I teach or have someone help me teach an automation or an agent to be able to take that over, right? Or we got to look at things where, what are everyday repetitive tasks? Emails, things like that, sorting, there could be ability for things to be filed appropriately. It just needs to be put in here and then it gets filed. The AI automation or agent does that. So really at the end of the day, I like to say the two AIs are agent or automation. An agent is going to take your input, do the task and continue to do the task and learn how to get better over time. So that's where that learning language kind of model fits into place. That's that agent. It's not really a robot, guys. It's just what we call it. And then the automation side of things is where we just put a set of tasks together and it executes the same way every time and does not learn from past experience. So that's the two. And we really just need to think about it as a business of what is easy and simple? Don't get complex with it. Let's start easy and simple. Let's pick one area we want to work on and then move into more, right? People try to overhaul their entire AI system or their system with AI, and then the wheels are on the bus are on fire. It's going down a hill on smoke. I mean, on fire. The bus is on fire. The wheels are falling off. I'll get the analogy right, but you can understand the dumpster fire that's happening when we make too many quick changes with AI. So just because also it's so new and it's evolving, that's why too. So
Yeah. And I'm really becoming really spoiled. I got to tell you, one of the systems that you put in place, I'm glad you talked about the simple foundations. One of the simple foundations that you put in place for me, I say it's simple, it's probably complex to you. I don't know. I have no idea, but is my Calendly link. And I become so spoiled. And I listen, I don't mean any disrespect. I want you guys to really understand how important this is. Miss Tara set up this wonderful Calendly system for me, and it just works in the background. All of the reminders come through, and people constantly compliment me on it. They say, wow, that's so great. I love the reminders. Thank you for the thank you. It just happens in the background. I don't do anything. And I'm so spoiled that when I go and I register onto other people's Calendlys that's not set up, I'm sorry, listen, I'm trying to help you guys, okay? Please don't take this in the wrong way. I'm like, oh my gosh, you need to have your Calendly set up properly because it doesn't have their logo, or that doesn't send reminders, or it doesn't directly connect. And I don't know how, I didn't set up any of so yeah, so I really do appreciate that. And that's one of the things that elevate your presence. You know, it's something that just happens. I enter people in and it just happens in the background. And so how many of you are leveraging those kinds of simple tools that can really make you look more professional? And it's what you would do anyway. Maybe your hand doing that. That takes a lot of bandwidth. I mean, my calendar is booked weekly. So I'm talking about 10, 15 different people on my calendar. If I had to do every one of those automation, you know, every one of those thank yous and reminders, I would do nothing else. So how should like a small
it's a good problem to have.
Yes, it is a great problem, actually. I'm very, very so grateful. How is AI helping like mid to small sized businesses? People that are, you know, how should they start using AI at that point?
Well, so we are encouragers of not being fear mongers about people losing jobs, right? I want to make this very clear that people are not going to lose their jobs because of AI. People's jobs are going to get easier because of AI. People are going to be able to do what they're supposed to be doing, like not answering emails or drafting documents all day long, unless that's actually their role, right? A lot of times there's so many time voids within business. I go through it every day. I too also lose time going through these things and these mechanisms. And this is where small and medium businesses can identify where they're utilizing their time. Now, something that we used to do within corporate America, and I used to have my teams do it, was, and not so much because it was management of their time, but it was seeing where we used our time for. So 1 month I had our design team, our project management team, our coordinators and our salespeople log their time. They hated it, I know, and they felt like it was tracking them about what their time, but that wasn't the case. What we were trying to identify was exactly what I'm speaking about here. Where are we utilizing our time, on what tasks, and can we make that a repetitive task that automation AI can fix, or is that something that a human has to still do, right? And what happened was, after that month, we were able to identify email, systems and being able to reply back to clients and have information taken care of. Email was the biggest time drain, I guess. I hate to call it a suck, but it was just sucking that time out of people's day, that we found people were literally spending 2 hours and 20 minutes just typing emails in a day, and in an 8-hour day. That is really, that shouldn't be what it needs. It shouldn't be like that, period. Let me just stop stumbling over my words. And so that's what small businesses and medium businesses need to do, is identify, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but this is where we have to sit down and say, what can we automate? Guess what? I was automating the receptionist 10, 15 years ago. So AI is not brand new within the last 3 or 4 years. I was putting and installing automatic receptionists to where you pick up the phone and then you went through a system. I know you've all dealt with it, right? So this is where we have to identify, where's our time best spent. And here's the other thing, before I hand this beautiful mic back over to you, Miss Leah, is that a lot of times we think, as small businesses or medium businesses, we got to hire more. Oh, I need another person. And in reality, you need to clear up the bandwidth of your existing people. And guess what? They're going to love you, because when you do that, you give them a work balance back that allows them to get what they need done in the structured day they have, and then go home to what they want to do and not be stuck 24/7. And I speak of that because I was attached to a computer 24/7 before we had AI being that. So
yes, absolutely. And I want to say hello to Coach Savage Fly. Thank you for joining us. He is live on our YouTube channel. By the way, we do have a YouTube channel. I'm going to be promoting that more. So in case you get stuck on LinkedIn, please join us over there at the Wall of Wealth. Yeah, I really do see that often. And it makes me really sad when I see entrepreneurs who have thriving businesses, but I notice they're doing everything. And you can kind of tell when they're doing everything themselves. And what would you say is the biggest misconception that business owners and entrepreneurs have when it comes to AI and starting to implement automation?
the first biggest misconception is that it's going to be difficult. It's not. You're using AI right now. AI is a part of your life right now, and you might know it, but you probably don't. So it's not difficult. It's not scary. AI's really got good to where they really try to make things that are some things cookie cutter for the people that don't get it. And that's okay, because that's where everybody starts. That's where I started, right? So we just have to understand that it's not scary. And then the second one is we have to understand that it's not going to replace your employees. Yes, it's going to free up time, like I said. But guys, let's think about this. Do you want to bring on the overhead of another employee that's $50,000 to $100,000 salary that you're going to have to, not only the salary, but now you have taxation, you have time, you have management, you have insurance overhead, you have emotional overhead, because we're all humans and we have emotions and we have to deal with these things called emotions. So, yeah, it's the fact that AI is not going to take over your business or your job. If you wanted to and run it that way, great. That's an option, but that's not what's happened. And some people are like, well, in 20 years, it's going to be that way. Okay, but we're not here 20 years. We're here now. So we have to do things now, and not what's going to be planned, but do now. So it's the biggest thing, Miss Leah, I would just say, is it's not scary. And that's the biggest thing is, or people have, I'm sorry to jump back in here, or people have a fear of control, too much overreach from maybe people that they don't want to have overreach on those things and have that information, so that's kind of it. And that I'm not going to argue a point, because I do understand that. But when it comes down to the scary fact, it's not the boogeyman in the closet.
Yeah. And what that makes me think of is I help a lot of business owners that have less than 10 employees. And I hear this often. They're This just happened to one of my clients. She's running a very, very high level glass business, and she's got less than 25 employees, but she's replacing her assistant. And she's like, oh, she's only been there a couple of months. However, she said, well, I'm going to have to replace her. She's not doing this. She's not doing that. And I'm going to have to retrain somebody. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, why aren't you doing this yourself? So anyway, let's talk about some of the misconceptions or some of the tools maybe that they can use if they have employees, and should they be using them. Say they have less than 10 employees. Should they be using AI in that kind of a business when it comes to their teams and their employees?
Absolutely. Hands down, period. We can stop right there. The question or the answer is yes, because at the end of the day, what is the most thing that you take recognition of when you're dealing with a business, Miss Leah, when you reach out to them? Do you notice how long it takes somebody to get back to you?
Oh, yes, I absolutely do. And we are in
I do too.
gratification age right now, right? We want things instantly. So yeah, sometimes people don't get back to me like for a week.
Yeah. And that right there, I only ask that question because that's exactly what I'm, is that you could have, not you in particular, but people could have, companies could have, businesses can have a system placed where those frequently asked questions, or just to say, hey, I see you, I got your message, we got your message, we have it routed to the right department, they will be in touch with you in the next 24 hours. Something is better than nothing. And the fact that, hey, you know what, I got an acknowledgement, I have an expectation. The biggest thing about it is expectations. And a lot of times we don't manage the expectation of what customers or clients should expect to receive. And so then, like you said, we live in a very instant world. So the expectation is already set that we want instant service. And if a company has instant service, or I can go out and I can see their services, what they do, I can check out their social media, I can check out everything, then at the end of the day, I'm more apt to go with that company than the company that took a little longer to get back to me. And I do the same thing. So I know it's human nature.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I really do believe that 2026 is going to be the year of division. I'm seeing it with the clients I help. The ones that are not using any automation, and I don't care if you're selling a widget or a beautiful coffee mug, or you're whatever you are, a strategist, a coach of any type, financial services, if you're not using automation at all, you will be left behind. There's just no way physically for you to be able to keep up and to keep relevant. Because one of the things I want to highlight that you two do for me, people might think it's just about setting up the Calendly and this beautiful decadent banners, and it is all of that, but it's so much more. One of the things that I treasure about you two, because I call my superstars together, okay, together they're my superstars. It's about the mastermind and the strategy that goes on in the background. You two bring so much more value than the part that a lot of people see. It's those mastermind conversations. It's the marketing. It's the planning in advance. Although sometimes I'm a little bit behind, but it's on me. It's me. It's not you guys. It's on me. And I just think if we're not implementing any type of social media, we're going to get left behind. Where should somebody start? Let's say they're just feeling overwhelmed, because we got to get rid of hustle. Right? We got to get rid of the hustle and really start to use automation, AI, and systems. Where should somebody start if they're just feeling overwhelmed? Let's say they are having some success in their business, but they're just not sure. They look at all these things. It seems like too much. What's something where they should start?
Well, again, it comes back to understanding where the time suck is. And so once that literally is, I hate to be that broken record, but we have to, like, we could throw everything at the wall. We can throw lead generation, we can throw an executive assistant, we can throw a copywriter, we can throw all of these bots, automation systems at it. But if we don't know what we're trying to solve, that's where we need to start. Then we need to move into, and I know this one sounds so generic, but people really need to put their training wheels on with some sort of large learning language model, an LLM. So a Chat GPT, a Claude, a Gemini, one of those. Because, and I'll be honest, I've used all three of them. I really like Claude. So there's my little, boost of that. We don't get anything from it, but I find that it's a lot more thorough than Chat GPT, and I work in those both daily. So there's my little 2 cents about, kind of what LLM you might want to use. But the reason I say work in there, and I know it's so generic, is because it gets you just used to the conversation dialogue, right? Then you can start understanding how the system works. And now, because guess what? ChatGPT has agents in it. And so agents are in, this is where people are building. They can, all of this stuff, right? You can build your own agent in ChatGPT. Most people won't because it's really complicated. Well, most people think it's complicated. It is kind of complicated. You got to have a little bit of, riz, as the kids say today in AI. But it really just comes back down to the simple fact that start on those. And then I want to go over to something that you brought up, Miss Leah, was Calendly. Look, I'm gonna preach that. That has been around for ages. Since AI has been introduced to the marketplace, they have now brought AI into their platform, and that's what a lot of platforms are doing. So I encourage anybody, if you have a platform that you're using, they probably have AI plugged into it somehow. And if you need assistance with that, they can help. They usually have ability to help with you. They have help guides. We're always available to assist in those manners if needed, but this is where you can get started within that direction. And what happens is just get your feet wet. It's kind of like, sink or swim, they say, right? And you're not going to drown in AI, because if you do, you can just back away, walk away, and be like, okay, that was too much. I'll come back later and be able to. And guess what? You can tell AI to talk to you like you're 5 years old and you need something explained to you super simple because I don't understand it. Do you guys know how many times I literally am like, speak to me like I'm a kindergartner because I don't understand what you're telling me. And it will. And I'm like, I got it. So just because I might be the person over here talking about this, I'm very humble to say that just got to get curious. You just need to get in there. And like with Calendly really does a great job. I'm not the one behind the scenes masterminding everything. Yes, I am setting up there's a system within it that I can set up, but I'm not the one coding the system. So go out there and use that, guys. Make your calendar easier. It's just dive in is all I can say.
Yeah. And I'm going to toggle on to what you just said, because one of the things that Calendly has done for me, it's not just the automation and the thank yous, but I have different appointment times. I have one for my own clients. I have one for my team. So when my team is setting appointments, that one comes through differently. I have a no pitch coffee chat that comes through. So different times are allotted for different appointments. And if I had to do all of that by hand, listen, I was doing it all by hand. It is a lot of work. I'm telling you, if you haven't set this up, reach out to them. I want to welcome a few more people who've joined us. The amazing Miss Nick Angai Galindo. She is the brilliance behind guiding brilliant writers. If you are thinking of being an author, you've got to reach out to her. I believe that everyone needs to write a book. And as I'm saying that, yes, Miss Nick, we'll be talking, okay? We're talking about some collaborations and mastermind. I truly believe, Mr. Mike Drop said this maybe a year or so ago, collaboration is really the new currency. Who are you going to be collaborating with in 2026? I also want to welcome the great Miss Lisa Favec. She is our absolute menopause mentor, dietitian, and she said something a couple of weeks ago that I've been implementing. She said, you know what, if you don't have time to work out, although I work out all the time, but if you don't have time to work out, dance for 4 minutes. pick 4 of your favorite songs and dance to it. I just love that. And I also want to welcome the Queen Doctor herself, Miss Leslie Flower. She does our Mind Over Matter Mondays, our Think and Grow Rich Fridays. She pours so much into us. Listen, if you want to achieve your goals in 2026, aside from using the AI, leveraging all the systems, you got to get together with and watch her studies. What she shares with us for free, she should be charging for. Okay. Don't tell her I said that, because she's still doing it for free right now, which is one of my favorite F words, but who knows? She may be sending us a link to send her money, because she does share her knowledge and wisdom over decades of experience. I also want to welcome, oh my goodness, I just had a no pitch coffee chat with her, Miss Marilyn. Thank you for joining us. She has an incredible podcast. I sent her a referral who opened up a couple of other referrals. Listen, let's get in this collaboration and make no pitch coffee chats go viral. Please give me a little credit for it. All right. Give me a shout out. I want to know who you're having a coffee chat with. I want to see how you're making this go viral and how we're implementing it. Yeah, that's so good. I love that. So let me see. What about like the metaverse? Because some people are saying, well, the metaverse is dead. They just fired what was it, 1,400 people. Google laid off a bunch of people too. So let's talk about this metaverse. This is the question I get all the time. What is this metaverse? What is this about? Is it on the way out? What would you say about that, Miss Tara?
Well, the same question I would ask is, well, is Google dead because they just laid off a bunch of people? Is, any of these other companies dead because they laid off a bunch of people? No, it's restructuring. We understand what that means. So when people talk about, well, metaverse, or meta, just, it's called restructuring at the end of the day. So metaverse, is it dead? No, of course not. What is metaverse going to be if it's not dead? At the end of the day, metaverse is going to be where we are doing our e-commerce. It is going to be our websites. So the 2D websites that you're using, that you're on the screens that you're watching, David and I, while you're watching Leah and I, at the end of the day, this is a 2D Web 2 based experience. We are moving into where it's going to be a more virtual, more augmented. I mean, we already have glasses that have augmented. Augmented reality is virtual metaverse reality laid over actual reality, right? So you have to be able to have some transparency in the virtual reality metaverse to see it. So it's just evolution. Now, when we have our rooms and we showcase this, a lot of times people are like, well, I don't see nobody. We just had this conversation over in Horizons the other day with some people, and it comes down to this exact conversation. There's tons of people meeting in metaverse. It's about what use case is happening and how people are realizing that, just like cryptocurrency. Let's just say this. We can obviously see that we are moving towards cryptocurrency regulations around cryptocurrency to have rules and laws that people can follow, right? 5 years ago, crypto was hot and heavy in some areas, but the general public was like, nope, bad, right? Not saying that they say that about metaverse, but it's that resistance. Do you know that typically things take about 10 years, 15 years of resistance before it's fully accepted? Let's go back and use Zoom for an example. Zoom was not widely accepted until when? 2020.
That's
when a
right.
pandemic showed up and everybody was home, and now everybody's on Zoom. But prior to that, Zoom's been around for 10 years before 2020 showed up. That's that incubation period. Metaverse is going through the same thing. So at the end of the day, it looks to be dead, but it's the fact that it's in that incubation period. And when we start to see the rules and regulations come down the pipeline for fintech cryptocurrency, the reason I brought that up also was because that also ties in. That is going to be the payment system within Metaverse. So that way you have the ability to correspond and have e-commerce, right? So it is going to be an evolution. It might not look what it looks like today. Facebook doesn't, Instagram doesn't, Zoom doesn't. So it's going to evolve.
Yeah. And to your point, before 2020, our companies told us there was no way you should be doing any type of remote or distance appointments. It all had to be in person. So if I had a client in Las Vegas, they had to fly here, I had to fly there. We had to figure out meet in the middle and things like that. And guess what happened? This is why I always say champions don't panic, we pivot. As soon as our offices were shut down, because they were shut down, right? We were on a mandatory, what do they call it? Incubation. We could not leave. So we were on quarantine.
Nope.
Guess what happened? Somehow, immediately, we don't even know how it happened. Miraculously, our company said, you can Zoom and Boom, no problem. You can do it all the time. Do it every single day, twice on Sunday. We got you, no compliance. Go ahead and do it. And now the majority of my clients are met with me on a platform like this, although, so that was an opportunity to pivot. And I will share with you, many of my colleagues, when that happened, because they had big offices. I had an office at the time. I have a small office. I did at the same office then. But many of my colleagues thought it was over. When they shut down our offices, they thought it was over. They went out of business. They went on to do real estate and other things. And guess what happened? We exploded. My business took a different level during that time. So whenever there's a shift, remember, let's change our mind shift. And that could be your opportunity. And right now with AI and automation tools is that next shift. Maybe you're not sure how to use it. Yeah. Maybe it's a little bit woo-woo, but have a conversation. How about if you have a no-pitch coffee chat with Mr. and Mr. Mic Drop and just kind of strategize. See if there's even any opportunity for you to automate, no matter where you're starting, even if it's starting with a Calendly that is automated where you have different types of appointments. I'm telling you, I cannot shout that out enough. What that did for me, I thought it would be helpful, but now I'm wondering, how in the heck did I do that? Like, I don't even know I was able to do that. So how would the metaverse help a small business owner or a high achieving entrepreneur? How could the metaverse support their growth and their products in their business that they're doing today?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, great question, because a lot of times this is asked and it's not, maybe it's hard to visualize because, again, I use the analogy to people of, look, many of us listening or here, we're not around when we went from a radio to the TV, right? But imagine everybody has a radio. As we know, everybody listened to the radio back then. When TVs came out, obviously, certain households had TVs, majority did not. It is like explaining to your neighbor or your friend that, hey, you got a TV. Dude, what is it? Like, tell me about it. Well, it's this box. It's bigger than the radio, has sound that comes out it, and there's a picture that matches it. Like you're trying to explain what it's like explaining the best tasting dish, your favorite dish ever, to someone about how it tastes. You just can't. You're just like, oh my God, it's just so good. It's just so good. That is what happens when, we talk about metaverse and business. It is hard to explain what it can do. It's easier to show people, right? And that's why, once a month, Miss Leah gets in there. She does a show because it's showing other people how to show up and do it. So Miss Leah does, what we would like to call a podcast, a talk show. She has a session like we're having here with her AI avatar, with our AI avatars, and we're having a conversation in there. And now, as evolution has happened, mouths are talking. You can see the mouse moving and everything. You can see the movements of the hand. It's like a little mini avatar if Tara was an avatar, except for this over here, right? So it comes down to the fact that people can host not only educational systems, like there are massive amounts of universities in metaverse. Why? Do you remember the years of telecommunication on, like, so for instance, my mom, she went to a college called George Fox, but it was the satellite location in Boise, Idaho, which I was raised in Idaho. George Fox was from somewhere in Oregon or Washington. It was kind of whatever, doesn't matter, but it was a satellite location. So what she would do is she would go to a building where they would have a prompter and a teacher or some sort of video in that was teaching them from the satellite location. That's the same thing. It's now doing in metaverse. Now the professor shows up as an avatar and he is lecturing and telling everybody. And guess what? Yeah, he doesn't know if you're sleeping. He doesn't even know if you're there. Yeah, he can see that. But he's going to know when he assigns assignments or says, the cat ran through the hole and caught the mouse and came out and they're both purple and pink and they're found an elephant. I want you to put that in your paper. And if you put that in your paper, then I know that you were listening during, whatever it is, guys, right? But the point being is, it is where we are evolving, and we cannot sit here and fight the evolution. We have to understand how to utilize it for our own good. We need to be able to say, how can I use this? I know, like, for instance, Jay's an amazing storyteller, right? Jay could be in there having a whole story time with Jay, and trust me, with all his, amazing voices that he does, and be able to have whether it's a kids' day where kids are coming up and listening to story time, whether it's adults, reading book club, whatever it is. I have heard Jay have a conversation and tell stories. I would listen. And so, yeah, he can do that on a voice application like LinkedIn, used to have their, voice only application. But by having it in metaverse, there's now a visual, and we all know that there's a lot of science backing, and this is not, about Jay, but there's a lot of science backing the visual connection with actual voice and what's being said. So there's that cognitive connection that happens. And when you're having an experience that most people have never had before, that's an unforgettable experience versus just getting on a Zoom. Because how many times have we all done a Zoom, right? So Jay, thank you so much for being a great participant and allowing me to use you as an example, my friend. But yeah, that is where people can get in and just dive in and take advantage of it.
Absolutely. I would love to hear Uncle Bones in the metaverse. I think that Uncle Jay needs to, Noni's Uncle Jay needs to be in the metaverse. His storytelling ability is incredible. And he has the Laws of Storytelling book. It's amazing, on Amazon. Grab it. Put in the comments. And if anyone has a question, as we're winding down for here, put in the comments. Miss Rosie had a great comment that I want to highlight if I could see it. She was talking about, here it is right here. She said, it's the new wave of mobile apps is convenience, connectivity, and consistency. What would you add to that, Ms. Tara?
It's the 3 C's. That is our marketplace these days. People want convenience. They want that consistency. They want that. What was the other three? Sorry, you moved it from me, so I did not remember. But it's the 3 C's of understanding today. That's okay.
Connectivity.
Connectivity, yeah. How many of us go bonkers when we lose internet? Period. Like, I don't. I enjoy going for a walk. I like being disconnected at times. I like to go find myself somewhere in the mountains that I don't have internet, cell phone reception. But it's those 3 C's. And what I would add to it is courage. I'll add another 4th one: the courage to do it. The courage to go do it. A lot of times we won't do it. We just get messy with it. Who cares? You don't have the buttons. We always say this. You do not have the buttons to the nuclear codes. You're not going to blow up a lot of people. You might lose some work if you accidentally delete what you were writing. So, make sure you Control-C, copy what you're writing so you don't lose a big paragraph. But you're not going to hurt yourself. So I just encourage everybody to have the courage to dive into AI. So the 4 C's, there you go.
Absolutely. And that's really the year, because I always pick a word of the year. My word this year is clarity. My word a couple of years ago was courageous. And I said, be more courageous, Leah. And that's when we started really working together. I wasn't sure how it would all work. I didn't really even understand it. I just adored their power coupleness. I love the way they showed up. I wasn't sure what all the metaverse would be, if it would be something for me. But you know what? I just made a decision to be more courageous, and I just entrusted the two of them, and what they've done for me, I can't even quantify. I'm so grateful and thankful. You two are constantly up leveling me. That you do things that I would never even think of. It just is not in my wheelhouse, right? You want to talk about money and financial things? I'm your girl all day long. But you want to talk about banners and marketing and all, like, listen, I get tired really easy of that conversation. So when she shows up with these Christmas presents for me, I'm telling you, I'm just always blown away. Like the new banner that I have for Wealthy Wednesday, I have nothing to do with this. Okay. These are the gifts and brilliance. And that's what we need to understand, is that stay in our wheelhouse of what we do and allow the people who can help us to do the heavy lifting, to help us get out of the hustle and really leverage the automation and the systems. If you leverage one system this year, you will become addicted, and you're going to want to know how to do it more. How can you work less, harder on all these things that can be automated? I never thought I would be talking to ChatGPT the way that I do, but I do. It's super helpful. And yes, say it to me like I'm 5 years old. Right? Super, super fun. Well, we've had a lot of fun here. You've made some new fans and friends, as always, Miss Tara. I know people are going to want to reach out to you. They're going to see you here live. They're going to watch this team replay, and we adore all of you. How can people reach out to you? What's the best way for them to reach you?
Absolutely. Well, give us a shout at thehellollc.io. So thehellollc.io. We're doing AI audits. So if you guys want us to jump in and have a conversation, we will do a free AI audit and jump in that. And we have some new AI services out now. We are able to find some amazing, simple tools that can plug into what you got going right now. Very base level, but they're really, really helpful with automating things, inbox issues. If you need, like Miss Leah has an amazing little bot that you can go out and talk to and learn more about her wall of wealth. All of these little things. If you need some help, have a conversation, book a 30-minute coffee chat with us. No obligation. Pick our minds, ask us questions. If you like us, great. If you don't and say, you know what, that was helpful, but I don't need you, that's okay too. We did what we needed to do, which was just share the message.
Yeah. And I would invite all of you to check out my website, which is more of an interactive, customized experience, just to see the kind of work that they can do. I can't take any credit for that. I'm telling you, when I just prayed, and I was so apologetic. When we started working together, she said, send everything. I said, you want me to send you everything? She said, yes. Just send the links, send the copy, whatever you've got. I said, okay, Lord, forgive me. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm going to apologize in advance. And I just threw it all at her, all the kitchen sink, all the information, all the downloads. And I thought, there is no way this woman is going to come back to me and say, you are crazy, you are loopy, we're not doing this. But she came back with this incredible link to my website, which is an interactive one-on-one experience. It's amazing. I never would have thought of that. She's the brilliance behind it. Her and Mr. Mike Drop. I'm so appreciative. So have a coffee chat, meet somebody, open your mind in 2026, right? How can you reduce the hustle and start leveraging the AI and automation? This has been so much fun. I don't ever know where the hour goes to. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I want to do more, because I'm always learning from you. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Wealthy Wednesday. Thank you so much. And I want all of you, if you got some value from this, please put a 1 in the chat. Please enjoy a no-pitch coffee chat with her. And I would also really encourage you. I really genuinely mean this. If I've not enjoyed a coffee chat with you, no-pitch coffee chat, I would love to meet you. I want to know who you are. I want to know what you've got going on. I want to learn more about you. And by the way, That is what social media is about. It's about us networking and collaborating and working together. And so now I'm kind of introducing time here in 2026. And, I want to share a little bit more about the people that I helped during the week, the families that I'm able to really reach out to, and the difference that I'm making, because I think it's so imperative. Right now, so many people are worried and stressed about their money. They're overspending and they don't know how. They're being charged for things they're not sure about. And this past week, I met with this woman. Oh my gosh, she's so amazing. She was a referral, and she's actually a massage therapist in Las Vegas, actually in Reno. And she's working hard. She's never done a spending plan. She has no idea where her money's going to. She's like, Leah, this all gives me so much anxiety. I said, it's okay. I've got you. We're going to take it step by step. And I was so excited because we took her through my ultimate one-page spending plan. If you haven't downloaded it, it is free. You can download it. If you've never tracked your money, I'm telling you, this is a great place to start. And so we got through about half of all the different categories. And she was so stressed in the beginning. She's like, money gives me anxiety. I don't even know if I could do this. I want help, but I don't know if I can. And then by the time we got done, you just watched her entire aura change. That is the power of looking towards your money. Sometimes people think I'm going to tell them, listen, you can't buy this, you can't buy that. I don't tell people what to spend their money on. I really don't do that. I don't believe in budgets. I think that word is punitive. I think it should be banished. We should never talk about budgets. We should talk about a spending plan. So what we track expands, and we were able to start tracking her spending. And it gave her such a relief. I said, okay, it might take us a couple of weeks. It might take us 2 or 3 sessions. We can take as much time as you need to help you get through this. And just watching the relief on her, she said, you know what? I don't feel any more anxiety anymore. I think I can do this. That's, to me, is really transformational. That's why I love doing what I'm doing. And I told her, listen, let's earmark this day and watch what happens in a year. Watch what happens in a year. Because when we look towards our money and we start the progress, because all progress starts by telling the truth. And when we really look towards our money, you're going to be dazzled and amazed on how money will be attracted to you. When we start respecting our money, when we start looking and appreciating the things that we can do, because money is just a tool. Just a tool, just like this laptop is a tool, just like the light is a tool. It's just another tool that allows us to do other things. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Thank you so much. I appreciate and love all of you, Team Live. I appreciate you showing up. I love the comments. And Team Replay, we adore you. That's going to do it for this episode of Wealthy Wednesday. And we will see you next week. My guest next week, oh my gosh, she is a legend in her time. I'm telling you, it's going to be incredible. We're here every single Wednesday, 10 a.m. We might be remote. We might be live in the studio, but I'm going to be here every single Wednesday bringing you valuable entrepreneurs, thriving business owners. And if you're looking for a speaking opportunity, I would love to chat with you. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Wealth of Wednesday. And remember, your wealth today should be and could be your dynasty tomorrow.
Hey there, I'm Leah Garcia. Have you ever wanted a career where you truly make a difference in people's lives? I'm building a team of driven financial and insurance professionals, people who want to help families and businesses protect, distribute, and transfer their wealth with confidence. If you're passionate about guiding others to achieve financial security, then you're exactly who I'm looking for. Join my supportive, growth-oriented environment and unlock your full potential. Ready to take the next step? Visit leahgarcia.io. and let's start building your future together.